stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
No, that's not what I wanted to. Hello, everybody. Just doing a little bit of sharing here. All right. I'm sure my audio is good. Yep, my audio is good because I had to do some switching around. Show. Hey, Gary, good to see you. Good to see you. I see you put that in the calendar already. Man, I got a couple things I want to talk about. So recently, a friend of mine got sober again. Okay. And I'm very happy for her. I am. And she had made, I'm not going to do any names or anything. In fact, I shouldn't even have said she. But, and this, I mean, it has to do with her, but not. It'll make sense in a second. She was saying how her overdose sucked and cracked ribs sucks. And yeah, and that she's grateful that she's sober now. And, you know, people were supporting her in it. And there was one person, and they said, you know what? You're freaking selfish, and you need to get sober for your kids. And he was right. And everybody proceeded to bash him. Okay. He was right. That her true friend is that person. He didn't present it very well. Okay. But I could tell that he cared. He cared about what was happening with this person. The other people started defending her. They don't give a rat's ass about her. No, they just want to argue. They just want to argue. And I want to go on there and say, hey, you guys, this is the real friend. He may have said it wrong, but kudos for covering your friend's ass. In fact, I don't think I'm going to post it on Facebook. What I'm going to do is write them directly. And the person that did it, and I'm going to tell him, you're a true friend, but next time try and be a little bit nicer about it. See? See? But instead, what do they call him? Toxic mother. No. I'm tired of hearing that word. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm not going off today. I'm actually in a really good mood. And guess what? I went out to go drive my car. The battery's dead. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Every time I go drive my car, there's something wrong with it. All I can do is laugh. What am I going to do? Get angry? Kick the car? Then I'll have a dent in my car. And then every time I walk by, I'll be like, oh, I remember that one time you got mad. There's a dent in my car. Nope. Not only that, but there were other people around. So I needed to be a good example of what anger looks like. Okay. It's been driven. It was just driven. So, no, it's just the batteries. I need a new battery is all it is. So, but yes, very good point, Amber, because it's also a diesel. So you need to start it. So, then maybe we'll try that. Maybe I don't need a new battery, right? We'll find out. If I need a new one, God will provide it. I'm not worried about it. All right. So, hello to everybody that showed up. Ingrid, Amber, I think Gary's here. I've been trying to say hi to people as they've come in. I also invited Emma, so she might show up. I don't know. But I kind of felt like my friends would kind of not necessarily agree with me on this, but kind of work through it. Because what if you're called toxic? I've been called toxic. My daughter calls me toxic. And I'm not. Does it hurt? Yeah. Yeah, it fucking hurts. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the big book. I'm going to go to the spiritual experience. I'm going to read something. Well, obviously. The principle, which is a bar against all information, which is a proof against all arguments. You're so funny. Which is proof against all arguments, and which cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. Ignorance is different than naive. Naive means that you don't know. Ignorant means you do know, but you don't do nothing about it. That you do know, but you're not going to put any other work in to actually figure out the truth. Our fact checkers this? Not by a long shot. Hi, Patricia. It's good to see you. I always like seeing my friends. I got them everywhere, man. It's so cool. Yeah, somebody just did one of those Recover Out Louds and nominated me. I didn't realize how good that felt. That somebody thought of me. Doesn't happen to me too often. People tend not to think of me right off the bat. And that isn't anything. It's just part of life. So what is that principle? That principle is contempt prior to investigation. Right? So when we're calling somebody toxic, okay, how come you don't hang out with that person anymore? Because they're toxic. Oh, okay. You take their word for it? Oh, well, I'm not going to hang around that person then. You're not going to make your own decisions? That is ignorance. Ignorance. When somebody tells me, no, they're toxic, I say, how is that? How are they toxic? And I never get a good answer. Oh, they have the same problems all the time and they refuse to work on them. That sounds familiar. You know why you're calling them toxic? Because you have PTSD. You're having flashbacks of you. Is there a time when we need to put boundaries down? Sure. But you know me, I'm talking in generalizations. We don't do particulars. So I'm not going to sit here and say, well, what if it was this particular situation? No, we don't do that. Because that is also contempt prior to investigation, is it not? That would still be ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss, my friends. Acting like you don't know is not bliss. Because deep down inside you is the fundamental idea that other people need your help. You have a heart. That's why it's so frustrating. We all want to get to the same place where we can help other people, don't we? There's been times when somebody's like, I wouldn't work with that person. They're toxic. You know what? They're a good friend of mine now. And they're doing great. Yeah. So it's, fuck you. Okay, I'm actually the one that picks up the crazy ones. Because the crazier you are, the better you're going to be at this program. I mean that. The harder your life has been, the better it's going to get. Okay? Toxic is not a psychological term. Toxic shock. I bet most people don't even remember what that is. Girls should know. All girls should know. Patricia knows. I'm not going to say because I'm too embarrassed. Has to do with tampons, right? Toxic shock. Ooh. So when we use a word like toxic, it's it means serious. This person, when you say toxic to somebody else, what do you imagine this person being? Just crazy, walking around talking to themselves? Are you afraid that they're going to pull out a gun and shoot you? No, the fear is this. You haven't dealt with your own crap. That's what it is. They're not toxic. You're an asshole. And it's name calling. Stop calling people Karen. Stop it, please. There is no room in recovery for name calling. And once it starts, I know if I'm around you and you start name calling, I have lost every ounce of respect for you. Especially if you've been in the program. I was just in a meeting and the person touts off, first of all, that, yeah, I like this other person. We see eye to eye because we both have long-term sobriety. And he's still suffering. I stopped suffering years ago. Why? Because it's self-inflicted. Suffering is self-inflicted. God doesn't make you suffer. Those were the actions you decided to take with your own will. With your own will. You made that decision. I made the decision to go out and drink when God kept telling me, Dion, you probably should stop that stuff. Heck, I sent you an airplane. Y'all know the joke. I sent you an airplane. I sent you a boat, but here you are. And you asked for them too. But you were too blind to see because the person sitting next to you is toxic. And I gave you a way out, but you chose to sit there. You chose to be there. You choose to talk to this person. You choose to allow them to disrupt your serenity. That's on you, not them. Now, let's take the flip side. Let's say I'm the toxic one. Then I got some fucking work to do. I got work to do. Here it is. You have free will. You can choose to do whatever you want with it, but you do not choose the consequences of your actions. No, the government will be happy to do that for you. Okay? They put us away. That's what they do with us. So no wonder it's kind of scary. And considering the fact that this day and age is moving into a reputation score, that's what it is now. It's about reputation now, not money, not popularity. Well, popularity definitely, but it's all about reputation. Is it okay to let someone know that their actions were off the beam? Or is that taking a person's inventory? No, you're correct on that, Ingrid. That is a boundary. So what I would say to that is, yes, you can say something, but approach it right. And I don't think I need to tell you, Ingrid, that. She knows that. No, I don't think that's taking another person's inventory. I think that might be a friend helping out a friend. Or even saying, you know what, you can even say something, I noticed you go through this problem a lot. Yay, she made it. Hi, Emma. Love you. Okay, we're going to start all over now. I don't know what it is, but I love Emma. It's her voice, I think, and the way she holds herself. Um, anyway, um, so yes. So I think it would even be appropriate. I've noticed you've had the same problem, and I'm concerned about it. Do you think maybe a counselor or therapy might help you? And here's your indicator. Here's your indicator. You know, I've gone to therapists, they just don't work for me. Therapists do not solve your problems. God does not solve your problems. No, Momo. It's all good, Emma. You're good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, I know. I think we should just save up a bunch of money and move her and her family out here. And I think that would be awesome. But it's pretty selfish of me. Actually, I'd rather go to Ireland, but I'm not allowed to leave the country. So it's a free country. I can roam around all the country, but I'm not allowed to leave it. Okay, whatever. My car's got a dead battery, so I ain't going anywhere anyway. So, but that'll be your indicator, maybe. You know, I've gone to therapy, but it didn't work. Would you be, and always use this word, willing, 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 willing. What a great word. Would you be willing to give it another try? Use your feel, felt, found. Hey, you know what? When I went to therapy in the beginning, I felt the same way, that it wasn't helping me. And then I found that if I ran my mouth enough, that the problems actually came out of my mouth. And it turns out that I had the answers, but I needed somebody there to guide me, just like I'm guiding you right now, right? And how you guide me. Always put this stuff in there. And how you guide me sometimes. It's a we thing. Bring them in. Don't push. Bring them in. Okay? All right? I'm doing something on purpose. I'm doing this on purpose. So what does this tell you? I'm closed off. Isn't that what it says to you? I'm not listening to you. Let's say you're talking to somebody like this. Sit like this for a little bit and talk to them normally. Okay? And then what you want to do, I'm giving you guys a trick here. What you're going to want to do, because this person's closed off, is eventually, while you're talking, you can take your arms and you're going to put them into what's called a basket. The basket. And you open them up, and after a little bit longer, you just kind of lean forward, and 9 times out of 10, they uncross their arms. Okay? We're lemmings, man. We're lemmings. See, there's certain indicators in your brain, and if you can give somebody that indicator, you can help them. And you're full of the indicators. Okay? But once again, God doesn't solve your problems. A therapist does not solve your problems. A therapist is never going to give you advice. No, they get sued for giving advice. I don't give advice. You guys give advice? Unless it's actually directly asked, like Ingrid asked me my advice. I told her what I would do. Is that the way she's going to do it? Probably not exactly that way, because she's a different person. But it's still going to be the same. Still going to feel the same. So really, when we're calling, and I'm not saying there aren't toxic people out there, okay? But once again, I'm not going to get into the particulars, because we would be here all day. And by the time we were done, we'd probably be pretty angry, because we would talk about all these particulars, and then we'd end, and we'd be left up in the air, and then there would be 6 of us feeling like shit when we left. We can't do that stuff. See, every time I try and end this, I laugh. I don't know if you've noticed that. I try, like, when I'm at the end, if there's a joke or something that's a little serious, maybe off topic, I hit that. so that when you leave, you're laughing. That way you remember me. It's a trick. It's just things that I have learned from watching people for 52 years. And I don't want to say I'm right, but I am. So, if toxic, and I'm not saying toxic people don't bother me either. Whoop, I just did it. See how easy it is. Gotta stop calling people toxic. There it is. All right. Yeah, you're right on, Ingrid. I should wrap it there. Yeah. Thank you everybody for being here. Let's see if we can just do a little bit better. Because if we go this road, then doesn't that make AA even more inclusive? Right? Yes. I love the memes where people are Jesus is up there saying who can get into heaven. And it's like, even the addicts, and Jesus says, yes, even the stupid people, or even the people that ask stupid questions. Right? They're human, man. Show a little empathy. You've been there before too. I love you. I truly do. Peace out and have a day.